Where do you go when you wanna go higher? See places and things, and it never expires. A book can take you anywhere. Turn the pages and you'll be there. Come on, join us, you'll see. We're reading with Carylee.
Hi, friends, and thank you for joining me for another Read with Carylee, where we have authors from around the world and maybe even as close as down the street coming to share with you their stories. And we have a lot of diversity and inspiration that we are bringing to you. So join me in welcoming Miss Valdene Mark, and she will be reading Jade Braves the Dark. Now, before we get into the story for today, Miss Valdene, welcome.
Welcome and hi.
Hi.
Very nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Awesome. So, where exactly are you reading to us from today?
I live in Providence, Rhode Island.
Oh, awesome.
But I'm originally from the Caribbean, from an island called St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But I currently live in Rhode Island. Yes.
Oh, that is awesome. It's awesome, always awesome to have another Caribbean author. If you don't know, I am actually from Jamaica. So.
Oh, yeah, I did not know that, actually.
Yes, so welcome. Yes, we are bringing culture and diversity to everyone with our stories, and this is why we have this amazing show, Read with Carylee. So, Miss Valdene, I am going to turn things over to you, and we will see how Jade braves the dark.
Okay, so this is my debut picture book, Jade Braves the Dark, written by me, illustrated by Sawyer Cloud. Okay. As the crickets start to sing and the sun goes down low, Jade says good night, and her mother turns to go. Jade sees the dark of the night slowly creeping in and quickly pulls the covers up closer to her chin. She shuts her eyes and she hopes the dark will go away, but cannot fall asleep as she is scared that it will stay. She tosses and she turns, then stops and doesn't make a peep. Jade tightly hugs her doll, and she tries counting sheep. Yet the unlit room stays dark and still seems very scary. In the creepy shadows, might there be naughty fairies? Or maybe trolls or ogres that get mad and roar like thunder. What is underneath my bed? Jade whispers in wonder. Could it be a ghost? A bug? A spider on the wall? Eyes closed and unknowing, how will she sleep at all? All these thoughts of scary things give Jade quite a fright. Stuck here in the dark, how will she make it through the night? Just as Jade decides that she will hide beneath a pillow, she gasps at the moonlight that shines brightly through her window. It lights up her books, her toys, and her rocking chair. It leaves sparkles on the floor, and it gets tangled in her hair. Jade now sees the dark is not as scary as it seems. It's come to play with moonlight. She sits up straight and beams. Now overjoyed and feeling sleepy, Jade lets out a yawn. "Good night, darkened moonlight," she says, then sleeps through to dawn. The end.
Carylee.
That is the perfect bedtime story for children. I love the imagery, and the illustrations were amazing as well. So, why did you choose to write this book, especially as your debut book?
Uh, Initially, I actually had a different book planned, a different manuscript that I was working on. And then, I decided that I wanted to do something personal, and that I wanted to do something that connected, really directly to my childhood, which all my manuscripts do, but this one especially, I think was more memorable for me. Um, and I always had a really, bad fear of the dark. It was so bad that I would always try to sneak into my parents' room when I was a child, especially, during like thunderstorms or, events like that. So, it's something that I had to overcome. And really, it does have to do with me realizing, hey, I'm not alone here. Like the moonlight would come, it would shine through the window, it would light things up. And it was really beautiful to me, and I felt comforted by that. And that's why I wrote this poem. It's more like a poem in story form, so I think that's how it resolved for me, so it's a very personal story, and I thought that I would like to share it with the world and hopefully, make children realize that, hey, it's not really that scary at all,
Well, yes, that is it's great to be able to share those personal stories and inspire other children to also share those personal stories that they could one day turn into a book like you did. So, are there any stories that have inspired you in your journey, in your throughout your childhood?
Um, I think there were several because I feel because I had the unique experience growing up in the Caribbean, I think the literature that we were exposed to did provide more diversity. I think especially you know going to primary school in the Caribbean. Um, what is most memorable to me, I think, is it's called Annie John by Jamaica Kincaid. And
Oh, yes.
right?
That's one of my favorites. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a picture book, obviously, but it's probably my favorite book. It would be around seventh grade, so around 11, 12 years old, so like a
Yeah.
middle coming of age type of novel, And I especially relate to that book because it's such a beautiful recollection of, of that coming of age tale and the relationship that she had with her mother and the imagery of the islands, and everything was just, it really spoke to me as a girl growing up, and I felt similar changes. And it also kind of, mirrored the experience that not most, but a lot of people have when they leave the islands or when they emigrate to the United States as well, and that feeling of leaving something behind and leaving that culture behind and leaving that relationship behind. So, it really spoke to me, and especially when I grew up and I moved here for college, it took on another meaning for me as well. And the author, like, she does such a great job of just, world building and painting that world, and bringing you into the story, bringing you into that room, bringing you into their, exchanges and conversations, and, that little eye or that that Annie gives. Like you can
Yes.
imagine being a fly on the wall there. So like it really related to me. I love her work. But that's definitely like my favorite growing up.
Yes. And so do any of your you said you have a few manuscripts, are most of them children's books or
Yes, all of them are children's books, but I think most of them are picture books. I have one that I think I will be saving for maybe 10 years from now.
okay.
More of a middle grade, more of a coming of age type of novel. But for right now, I want to focus on my picture books, and I have like 5 or 6 other manuscripts that I've written or edited over the years, because I've been thinking about doing all of this since I was, I don't know, 19. So it's something that it's a lot that I've had for a very long time. And the one that I am working on right now, hopefully will be releasing summer next year. And it really, I would say it has more of the Caribbean experience in it. This one, which is just like about a fair, that one is more about the Caribbean experience, the value of friendship, that sort of experience. So I think I get to show more of like my background with the upcoming picture book. Yes.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. So we will be seeing a lot more from you, and being able to integrate your culture and the Caribbean experience into your books, that is definitely an awesome thing for children to see and to be able to get that diversity. So we thank you for even thinking to write these books. So what's another inspiration that you had to be an author?
I just wanted to share, like you said, diverse stories. I feel like we did have some, because of where we lived and how we grew up, we did see that in the literature in the schools. But often, if you went outside the curriculum at school and you went to a bookstore or you went somewhere else, we really didn't have that many picture books or exposure to many books with people who look like us in them. You really couldn't
Yes.
yourself, and on the commercials, and whether or the dolls that we had, the literature that we had access to, other than school, like most of it we did not see ourselves represented. So I thought that I wanted to add to the movement, the Own Voices movement, where we're writing for ourselves, we're writing about our history, our stories, whether it's like the mundane, like a Fear of the Dark, or whether it's about our culture or the way our families are. So I think that story is important, and I think it's important that we tell that, because there's very few minority authors compared. I can't remember the stats right now, but it's so little compared to like white Americans. I think that's the biggest demographic. And then, all the minorities, it gets less and less from there. And also, we don't have many diverse characters at all. There's actually more animal characters than actually characters in picture books. So I feel like it's really up to us if we want to change that.
Absolutely.
Up to us if we want to change that narrative. So I think it's important, and I think that's another inspiration of why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Absolutely. Well, Valdene, thank you so much for thinking of writing these stories to be able to impart your culture and pass that down to your children and other children that may be able to relate as well, and letting other children be able to be exposed to those
Right.
characters and those cultural diversities. So thank you very much for joining us today. And you at home, we want to thank you for joining us. We want to make sure that you have all the information in the description on how to reach Miss Valdene and to get a copy of Jade Braves the Dark. And remember to grab a book and read, because it will take you to so many places. And come on next week so that you can see another author that adds to the diversity of children's literature. And we just hope that you'll join us again next week. So have a great day, and always grab a book and read.
Thanks for watching another amazing episode of the Read with Carylee Show. We have amazing authors coming by every week. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe below. You don't want to miss a thing.